Let's check that mic. Oh yeah, sounds great. What's going on, guys? It's that special time again. Welcome to episode 4 of Archaeologistic. I'm your boy Archie, talking to everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to everyone. Who am I gonna talk to? Everyone. I don't know. I don't even know who I'm gonna talk to. We're gonna do a quick thank you and shout out to a little bit of Twitter love here. Zale and AC and Pro Streaming Setup. Thanks very much for the likes and the retweets and things on Twitter, guys. When I go live, I tweet on my my little Twitter there, and I really appreciate all the Twitter support there. The Twitch community on Twitter is unbelievable. Everybody's loves each other. Everybody supports each other. It's really cool. Spread the word. Spread the gospel. I'm live to the world with no shame. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take some calls on the Stereo app. We're gonna talk to some perfectly random people from around the world. Last stream, we talked to a young lady from Iran who is going to school there, so we got a chance to learn a little bit about school in Iran. And then we talked to a gentleman named Valentino who lives in Scotland, and he told us about his experience as a gay man in Scotland. We talked a little bit about persecution online and just sort of where communication frictions happen. You know, it was fantastic. Anyways, I loved it. Great people, lots of fun for sure. So I'm gonna start this. Hold on one second. I gotta turn this headphones down. Jeez, wow, jeez Louise. Yeah, I'm going to start this up with just laying out some ground rules, some groundwork. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can at the beginning of every podcast, every stream, just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on around here. We are fielding calls from around the world randomly, and so there's a few things that I'd like to sort of say. I try my very best to not talk to young people, anyone a minor, if you want to use that term, a minor, right? Just because I'm live streaming people and I don't want to live stream your child. So I'm going to do my very best to, if someone sounds really, really young, off they go. And that's okay. You know, I don't mean any disrespect by it. All right. So no minors, no toxicity. I'm not really into people being super negative. I don't mind strong language in some ways. And I hope you don't either, but you will be warned that this is random. So if people could be saying things that you might deem offensive, and if so, please listen to something else. I try to keep things positive around here, try to keep things interesting and a bit clean, you know, as clean as I can keep it when you're talking about random people on the internet, right? So wish me luck, and I wish you all the luck in listening, all right? And the last thing is how to interact with the stream. You can watch the Twitch stream live. We are live on Twitch right now, and so that's a really easy and great way to interact with me on the Twitch chat there. Of course, it's our home and we love it. And also the Stereo app. If you install Stereo on your cell phone, you will be able to sort of interact in a new way, which is kind of, it's really cool. You're listening, and then you can actually record your voice and then ask questions and interact comments and questions and things, and we'll play them live on air. We'll play the sort of, you know, our chats, right? So yeah, and that's about it, guys. We're gonna do this, okay? We're gonna talk to some people from around the world, and I have no idea who we're gonna get. Sometimes the Stereo app will match me with people who I've previously spoken with. I'm noticing that there's a bit of an algorithm going on there, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I will be sort of looking for new people. Although if we do there's a couple that I would like to run into again, you know, so hopefully we'll get a chance to meet some, what we could call Stereo old friends, somebody that I've chatted with before, just because they're very interesting people who I think we could have a little, just check in on them, you know what I mean, see how they're doing and see what they got to say. So, all right, I need a little water, hold on. Filtered ice water, you can't beat it. I'm going to turn down Spotify just a touch, all right? Just a little bit. All right, we're going to check the audio quality of the stream, make sure that everything's... Oh yeah, it's fine. Come on now, it's fine. You guys ready? Let's start a little chat with someone. Okay, someone's gonna be on the other line of this, sir. We're gonna check it out. Here we go.
Hey, I promise you. Like this dude here, archaeologist.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, what you got for me, man? What kind of topic you want to talk about today?
We are live on Twitch right now, and I just wanted to sort of meet people. You know what I mean? I want to see how you're doing.
You live meet. Well, you want to meet people for what? Tell me why you want to meet people. What is it?
Well, I do a show on Twitch, live streaming on Twitch that's calling people from around the world and just sort of checking in on them, saying hello, and see what they might have to say about something, you know? So it's great to meet you,
Okay,
Straight Talk. Let's hear it.
That's good. I ain't got nothing to say. Let's see what you do. I'm gonna answer your questions. I can help you.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Let's go.
Right on. All right. Well, do you know anything about archaeology?
Archaeology.
Yeah.
Not too much about it.
Sure. Yeah. It's something I do for a living, and really
Okay.
just
You're an archaeologist?
Yeah. There's different types of archaeologists, though. I'm just a field worker. I just go out to the field and do like the field work. I don't write papers and the big sciencey sort of data stuff. I'm the guy who does the physical stuff, you know. Yeah, it's good times for sure.
You want to talk?
A lot of days in the sun.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's good time. Right.
How about you? You living in the States? I'm calling from Canada here.
You're from Canada, right? I'm from UA. I'm from the United States.
Yeah, right on. All right, how's things down there? Are you down?
What do you think?
Well, are you down south? Is it nice and warm, man? Because it just snowed this morning, and I can't believe what I'm looking at when it snows outside in March.
Yeah. I live down south, so ain't no snow down here.
No, there's no snow. You're lucky, man. You're so lucky. Another thing is that in the United States, you see a lot of older cars, whereas in Canada, they put salt on the roads here every winter, right? And so the salt just destroys. There's no vintage cars up here, really. Like, the cars are crap because the snow and the ice and the salt just destroys everything, right? So, yeah, I feel jealous of people in Florida, people down south. You know, they get to drive these really nice rides. In Canada, there's no nice rides, man. Nothing lasts forever up here.
Right. Right.
So what do you do for a living,
Same
man?
thing, Russ. Shoot, man. I am into transportation.
Yeah.
So I'm a professional driver. I get paid to haul. Yeah.
Right on. That's an exciting job, man. I've always had a lot of respect for truck drivers in particular, especially the long haul thing, because I know you get to see a lot of the country, right? Are you driving around your city, or are you driving a little farther than that?
Oh, I drive further than that.
Oh yeah? Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because I know up here, there's a saying up here, maybe it's true all over the world. I'm going to ask you right now. Are BMW drivers total assholes?
BMW drivers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really focus on the drivers like that too much.
Okay, they don't cut you off and hog the lane and all that? Because they do up here, man.
That's just drivers. That's just four-wheelers, period. That's just people who drive, period.
Okay, that's a good point. I've been cut off by minivans too, right? So.
Yeah, most people don't know how to drive.
Yep.
I mean, but they're Class D drivers, so they just drive. Yeah.
Are you driving?
I don't get caught up in that.
Are you driving trucks? Are you driving large vehicles? Or are you driving cars?
No, I'm a commercial operator.
Okay. So
semi tractor trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, driving the real stuff, man. See, now that to me, I don't know if I can handle that personally, man. I drive a hatchback. You know what I mean? So it's really small. It fits in everywhere. Yeah. It doesn't go fast, but that's okay. You know, I need to get to where I'm going without getting crushed. And when I rented a U-Haul truck once, and that was pretty sketchy for me, man. I'm not a talented driver like that, you know. But no accidents, so I guess I can't be that bad, right?
Gotcha. Right. So what do you do for a living?
I do archaeology. So we get in a van or a truck and we drive to some forest somewhere. Some farmer's field maybe, you know, and do survey work, right? So we're looking for little stones in the ground. We're looking for pottery, arrowheads, you know. Usually here in North America, it's a lot of indigenous groups, right? So there's no pyramids up here in Canada. There's no, you know, things like that. But there's a lot of evidence of people for thousands of years living in villages, living in little hunt camps and traveling through hunting, you know, this kind of thing. So we do survey work.
Okay.
When someone wants to build a Walmart, basically picture like a farm, and he sells the farm. Well, there's a bunch of surveys that have to happen by law to make sure that that the land's okay. You're not going to destroy anything, right? So environmental survey, like water, they're going to check and see if you're going to hurt some animals, like little frogs and stuff, And the archaeology survey is the same thing. You're going to make sure you're not going to tear out some historical amazing village from 1,000 years ago, with your backhoes and building shit, right? So that's what it's all about anyways.
I got you, bro.
Right on. So what are you listening to lately? Got any albums you can tell me about?
I don't get caught up in albums like I used to when I was a kid.
No, you driving with a lot of podcasts? I know I drive with a lot of talk radio and podcast.
Yeah, some right now. Not a whole lot. I don't listen to a whole lot of stuff. I just listen to information that's relevant to what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, sure, okay. I find that when I got to do a lot of driving, man, talk radio and podcast is my best friend, man. I swear to God, the bigger the better too, right? Audio books. Those universities give lectures. I mean, you can download whole lecture series from Harvard and Boston, and Yale, and it's kind of cool to be able to learn something while you're driving, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always, as long as you can find something that's relevant to your growth and that's connected to what you're doing in life.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
You don't want to be all over the place. You don't want to be a scatterbrain.
I've already been that. I'm done with that. Are you a musician, man?
Nah.
No, you didn't. They didn't teach you an instrument in high school or anything?
That's not a musician.
Yeah. You play an instrument, right? Sure. It's just you suck because you don't practice.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's not a musician, man.
All right.
Everybody had to take some type of course, but other than that, that's basically it.
Well,
so do me a favor. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
You do the live Twitch and stereo.
That's right.
Now, what's the purpose behind that? Tell me the reason behind this.
Well, I've been on Twitch for just over a year. And the Twitch community, like writ large, the big like Twitch community, you would not believe how positive everybody is. You would not believe how awesome everybody is. There's so many cool, talented, interesting people on Twitch, right? So I'm streaming on Twitch, playing video games and talking to a lot of people, and you end up meeting a lot of people, right? So I got like a Twitch family, man. And just people come by the stream, say hello. I meet new people all the time. And so I install stereo, and I'm talking to people on stereo. I'm like, you know what, man? Everybody's pretty cool around here for the most part. I'm going to bring the two together, So I emulated stereo through a sort of Android emulation on a Windows machine, right? So I got Android. It's a phone, but it's on Windows, right? And then there we go. We're live right now on Twitch, and I'm talking to you live on stereo, and it's a marriage made in heaven, man. It's working really well.
So what's the purpose behind you doing it?
It's a show, right? You and I are having a chat right now. That's that's of high value, man. And then beyond that, I really like meeting people. I like hearing what life is like somewhere else. You know what I mean? People's interests and skills. Maybe you know something about something really deep, and you can teach me something. Yeah, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Yeah, as simple as that.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I find I got to be honest with you. After years and years in entertainment and various things, I was a musician traveling around and all that stuff for a number of years and doing live streaming on online platforms and things. I think the best content is keep it simple, right? The best stuff. People come to you for one thing, and that's keep it straight and simple, and that's probably the best you can do. As soon as you get complicated, then it becomes hard to do, and then not a lot of people want to do 16 different things with you, right? So.
Yeah, it's all demographics. You know what I'm saying? All depends on who it is. Yeah, simplicity is always good.
Yeah,
clarity.
For
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? So
it's
it all depends on what you're doing and who you're talking to. If you're talking to a bunch of MIT people, that may be complicated to the average mind, but to the person that's in MIT, they understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true, man. I was talking to a gentleman 2 days ago. I was doing the stereo thing, and I talked to a guy who had this master plan about people leaving Earth. And he was talking all about how you could a mass exodus to leave the planet, and I was like, and it was deep, man. This guy had a plan, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Why you laughing at that?
Well, because I'll tell you, because he had a plan, but it didn't sound feasible, and I told him that. I'm honest with people, right? So I said, listen, like getting people to do something together, it's very hard to make whole global communities, for example, work together. It's hard for just in my city, you know. I live in Ontario, Canada, and just in my city, like people conflict and don't work very well together just on a small scale, you know what I mean? So I don't see how he's going to convince all the global governments to get in a boat and leave the planet, but good luck if you want to try it.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, that may be true. That may be true. And I think maybe that's his attitude. I think that's his bottom line, is that anything is possible. So
That's not maybe. That is true.
I haven't seen
That's
it yet.
facts.
Yeah, no, but what we're
Yes, you
talking
have.
about is so
Yes, you have.
complex. So complex.
Huh?
It's so complex, man.
It's complex to you.
Yeah,
To you, it is.
that's true. I acknowledge
Not
that.
to him.
Okay, well, yeah,
Huh?
and I tried my best to sort of pull more information out of him, and he didn't offer too many step-by-step solutions. You know, there's a bit of a leap of faith when we're talking about his plan of the mass exodus of human beings from Earth. So you had to sort of take a few things for granted, basically. And you know what? That's okay. You know what I mean? Like I disagree with him, but you know, I could do that.
You said some of it was a leap of what?
A leap of faith, where you had to sort of just
Yeah.
accept that will be true, or that it is true with no evidence. You know.
Yeah, that's life.
Well, I definitely got out of bed this morning not knowing what's going to happen, so that's true on that level, you know.
Yeah, but on that level, that's it. So if you got out of not knowing what's happening, that's the same way he's operating. That's the same way he's doing. He's functioning with the same, just at a higher level.
Well, yeah, it's definitely pretty high level, man, because what he's talking about is like all the global governments communicating and working together on a level that costs multi-trillions of dollars, and you know what I mean? Like it was very complex anyways. You know, and you know what, man, I hope I don't come across as I'm putting this guy down, because honestly, he had a passion and he was sharing that. So
but you know what? You actually did. You when you laughed at him, you insulted his vision.
oh no, I laughed with him, man. There's a recording of this. Anyone's welcome to go back to it.
You laughed at him though. You laughed at his concept because you just said it was impossible.
Yeah, and I do still feel that it would be impossible today, and I expressed that to him, and we were communicating, man. I don't feel like I offended this guy, even with some chuckles and jabs. You know what I mean? So I try to keep it friendly.
No, it's not about offending people. Disagreements is a part of the life of journey. You're young, you'll learn that. But at the end of the day, it's impossible to you. So this is the proper terminology for young people like you that are still learning how this life works. When you can't see it, say, I just can't see that. It's impossible to me.
You know what?
It's not impossible.
Straight talk, man.
That's an absolute statement.
I appreciate that, because you know what? You're right. All right? I recognize that. That is true. And you know what? Saying something like, instead of saying it's impossible, it's like as if it shuts it down, right? Instead, saying I can't understand that is a better way to put it, right? Right.
I mean, you have to believe that now. I don't just say it.
No. I totally get it, man. You know, because words mean something, right? And so I'll make you a deal, man. Next time I talk to this guy, if I run into him on stereo again, and I think I might, you know what I mean? He follows me and all that. And stereo tends to put people together who've talked before and things like that. If I get a chance to talk to this guy, not only will I acknowledge that I was laughing about his concept earlier, but I will tell him that it seems impossible to me, and it's really just my perspective, and you know what I mean? I'll actually acknowledge that fact right there, and I promise you I will. I'm really glad we talked, actually, because I hadn't really put a lot of thought into the conversation after the fact, you know? But you're right. When we say anything's possible, yeah, probably, anything is possible is probably a very true statement, right? So,
Now you have to take the probably out of it.
Well, there are things that are impossible. You know what I mean?
There's nothing impossible. No, it's just you can't see it.
Well, I know, but I can't fly, man. I don't have wings. Like, there's certain things that are just actually impossible. I can't breathe underwater.
No, no,
You know,
no,
there's
no.
these
Watch
kind of
this.
things are
Watch this. Watch this.
impossible.
Watch this. Watch this. That's you can't see it.
I'm still learning, buddy. You're
So that's why
right
I said. Watch
again.
this. Watch this. You said I can't fly. No, you just don't think you can fly. That's just right now. Where your mind is right now at your young age.
Oh, I'm not so young,
Your
man.
mind. Oh, yeah, you're young. I could tell.
I'm not.
I've been around.
I'm not so young. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not an old man, but
For the most part, conversations turn, and I'm not talking about just age, but even I know in age you're young, but I'm talking about in development and understanding how this thing called life operate. So there's two types of ages. There's the natural age, your age, and
yes.
then there's developing age, and that has to deal with experience, and that comes with understanding life in itself. So there's two types of ages. A lot of people on this app, I could tell based off their conversation that naturally they're young, and then when it comes to experience, they're young because they talk from a limited perspective, and that's based off of their subconscious thinking. So that's not fiction, fugazi. That's not none of that.
No. Street talk.
Just limit.
You're right,
that's
man.
That's just limited. Yeah, it's all right. But nothing in this life is impossible. You just said we can't. You said I can't breathe underwater.
I can't breathe underwater.
No. You can't breathe underwater.
But that would suggest that somebody can.
Somebody can.
I don't know who could, because if they're even close to me, if there's something like me, like a human being, then they're not really made to breathe underwater.
That's a lie.
Oh no, I'm not lying about that. I feel like all.
No. I'm saying.
Let's make a big blanket statement here, okay? A big generalization. All humans can't breathe underwater.
They can breathe underwater.
Okay, I love it, and not because it's ridiculous in any way. It's an attitude. It's not.
No,
and I don't mean to demean it like a can-do attitude. It's a.
No, watch it. It's not even an attitude. It's just that you're limited when you understand the human makeup.
But nobody breathes underwater. Straight talk.
Say it again.
Nobody breathes underwater, man.
Yes, they do. You just don't see. You just don't know.
Okay, well, that's true. I've never seen anyone breathe underwater. That's
right.
A personal. That's a statement
now
that's just true to me.
Now watch this. Now watch this. But you have breathed underwater. You just don't remember it.
Oh. Now we're getting deep. No, deep.
It's not deep. It's simple.
It's pretty deep.
No, it's not. It's common. It's not deep. You just saying it's not deep. It's common. You just don't remember it because you got too much information and done blocked you from the simplicity about life.
All right, but are you suggesting? Let's get a little philosophical here, okay? Are you suggesting that if you can think it, it can happen?
Ain't no doubt.
If you can think it, it's possible.
It's right.
All right. That, you know what? Is the thought itself therefore real because it's a thought, and a thought is a real thing? Do you know what I'm saying here?
Thoughts are real.
Like, yeah, so if I think myself
real.
breathing underwater, then it actually did happen. I am breathing underwater because my thought, that level, that idea is enough to call it real.
See, watch this. Now you just made it. Watch this. You just made it complicated.
Okay.
You're not as simple as you think you are. You're not as simple as you think you are.
All right. Well, I'm trying to work it out with you, man. I'm trying to get to get to the bottom of this, right? Yeah.
Every human being has breathed underwater. For 9 months, you was in a womb.
That is true.
What you think was in that womb? Water. Why do you think when they birth babies in water, babies can swim underwater and stay there for minutes at a time? Babies are more comfortable when they come out the womb. More births are more comfortable because that's why they cry. The crying of the baby is you done took a baby out from one atmosphere and took them into a very foreign atmosphere. A dry atmosphere, they're not used to that. And then you just detach them from something that they actually been feeding them. But inside the womb, the whole womb is liquid.
That is true.
The whole womb is liquid. Well, not now it's true because I'm saying it to you.
No, that's true. Yeah. So at one point in time, we were all breathing water. Is true.
And watch this.
On that level.
Children And the only thing that the body has done is adapted to its geographic surrounding. That means the human anatomy, it's so unique, so divine, because it's not man created a body. The body was created by some supreme being, put this together to where that the body can adapt to its surroundings so that it can survive.
Yes.
So you went from water, you went from water, you went from water to now what? To earth, right? Which is 73% what?
Water, at
right?
least.
And your body is
At
what?
least.
And your body is how much? And your body is how much percentage of water?
Oh, we're like celery, man. We're like 80 something. I don't even know how much, but it's mostly water, I think.
Your body. So how is your body mostly percent water? The earth is mostly percent water, and you telling me that we can't breathe in water?
Well, we did in the womb, and that we've established.
We did.
After
and the
that,
only
it's
and the
not
only
water.
reason. Watch this. But your body can go back to learning how to adapt to what? To water, because you're what? 80% water.
Okay, well,
That's biological.
let me go a little level here deeper with you. Air itself has a water molecule in it.
It does.
So we are breathing water. And you have opened my eyes
You are
today.
breathing water to a certain extent.
Right now.
You are. But watch this. No, I'm not talking about the particles. I'm talking about actual liquid. I'm talking about the sea, the ocean.
Right.
Actually, the body could adapt to that and learn how to breathe again underwater.
I think I don't think our lungs are capable of turning into gills and being functional as gills.
You don't.
Right?
You don't have. See, the thing about it is the fact of the matter. You missed the whole concept of what I'm saying.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm
your
trying.
Body can adapt to it.
I'm trying.
Your body can adapt to its geographic society, to the geographic environment.
Okay, but not quickly. I mean, maybe when you want to talk about like something adapting over tens of thousands of years, or
it may not take that long.
Well,
to survive, your body will adapt.
All right,
your body will learn how to adapt.
Yeah, I don't think like someone in a shipwreck, they don't really have a lot of time to learn to breathe the water, man. I don't think that people can.
You know why?
Quickly change.
You know why? You know why?
I don't know why. Other than just physiology.
Because people master the art of emotions. Watch this. We're not emotional beings, but we've mastered the art of being emotional. I'm gonna show you something.
And that conflicts with our adaptability?
Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it definitely conflicts with our adaptability.
Okay.
I love teaching. I like to share things like this with people like you.
I'm loving it, man, and I appreciate it. And I mean that. So lay it on me.
So watch this. Most people are panicking, right? When a ship goes down.
Yes.
Right?
That is true.
Panic. Right. The majority of people only use how much percent of their brain?
Oh, they say 10% is active, and people are probably using less than that.
10. Right. Exactly. So you're consumed by your feelings, and you're only using 5% of something that you have no idea what the other 95% can do. But it gives you glimpses of it because your body heals itself.
Oh, yes.
We have so many different, and not only that, we have so much history to prove of some of the ingenuine things that we can do that is purely divine. So it's just a natural fact that if a boat sinks and it has 50 people on it, well, the average person is going to die because they're consumed by emotions, which is panic. 5% of your brain. But let's talk Navy SEALs for a minute.
Okay.
They call them frogmen.
Yes.
Right. A Navy SEAL can go when and the thing about them, they train themselves in Navy SEALs. I'm just going to give you basics. Yep. They're trained they're trained their brain, right, to operate at a high level that's above average. That's the reason why they call them frogmen, because a Navy SEAL in a time of chaos is not consumed by his emotions.
All right.
He taps into the higher level.
That is true. First responders, experienced first responders react very differently than the average person to a time of crisis or shock of some kind. They focus and control instead of panic and let loose, right?
Well, you panic and let loose because emotionally you're more dominant. Your emotions is dominating you versus your higher thinking.
Okay, but let's use the swim. Let's stay on the water analogy here. There are Mediterranean pearl divers who can hold their breath for ridiculous amounts of time. Like they've trained their body to do so. They're very comfortable going to deep depths in the water where you can feel the pressure, man. I've done a small amount of scuba diving, and when you go deep enough, you can actually feel the water kind of get a little squishy there, like
condensing on you.
Yeah, you can feel it on your body, And those guys they're comfortable down there. They're fine, And that's nothing. That's just holding the breath.
I didn't use the pearl divers because the pearl divers are doing it in a sense of peacetime.
Yes, yeah,
that's why
they're doing it on their terms.
I use frogmen because you said chaos, a boat, a person whose boat crashes in it. Yeah. So if a Navy SEAL is trained their mind to operate at a high level, they limit that, and they're not consumed by their feelings. So when there's something like that happens, they can dive into the ocean and go down.
Right.
And be at total peace. They know how to slow down their heart. They've mastered the art. Dimension exists.
Well, that's and I don't know much about this either. It's theoretical.
You've never seen a dimension. Watch this. It's not really theoretical now because they talk about it too damn much. A theory is not real. Why would you talk about something that's not real?
Well, I couldn't.
Why would you continue to talk about it? Why would you have courses on something that's a theory?
Well, things like dimensions, for example, it's mathematically possible. You see, there is evidence of it because it works within the math.
Where's the evidence?
Well, it's in the math, and it's only in the math, I guess.
Okay, so watch this. And who is the creator of the math?
We are. Or no, we're just sort of we experience math. Math exists whether we're around or not, right? So we're discovering.
How do you know it exists? I'm saying, how do you know it exists, and who discovered it?
That is an excellent question, my friend. I would say that we all discovered it. I don't have an answer to that.
The science and math that the chemists use,
is
not what you use in the day.
You mean like daily life?
No.
How do you mean, straight talk? I don't follow you.
It's a difference. Okay, the mathematical system of America is European made. Everything about the education system here, everything about our education here in America is European. Even how they do the IQ, that wasn't created by any other ethnicity. It came from Europe, specifically Germany.
Sure, yeah, but these are not exclusive. Math as just mathematics. I mean, just mathematics is not exclusive to any given culture or anything. It's something that's and the most complicated math equation you can think of has always existed. People didn't really write it down and figure it out or play with it or introduce it into their thoughts beforehand. Like math is 2 + 2 is true whether I'm here or not, for example, right? So I think that's when we talk about like Europeans imposing mathematical systems on people, that's true. I'm not denying that. Banking systems and things came with Europeans to North America.
Well, I wasn't talking about I wasn't talking about the banking system. I was just talking about. I'm showing about spirits.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one thing. The hypocrisy about there are things that when people say, "Well, I can't see it." There's a lot of things you can't see that you can validate is there, right? Through devices. That's what I tell people. Okay, you said it's not there. Well, I can't see it. That's fine. There's a lot of things that we can't.
I'll come back to a straight talk. We're reconnecting here. Sorry about the stream dying for a second there, guys. Just did a sort of a refresh the internet connection thing, and it looks pretty good. Looks like we're in a good shape here. Right side, I hope you're doing well. Straight Talk here is having some deep conversations with us. It's wonderful. Loving it. I can't hear you, Straight Talk. I'm hoping that stereo reconnects us here. We're live on Twitch right now, of course. You can watch the chat. You can interact on the Twitch chat there, or install the stereo app on your phone, and you can go ahead and ask us questions directly in the stereo app. It's pretty social. It's pretty interactive, so that's kind of fun. I'm doing good, right side, for sure, man. For sure. And I have a lot of fun talking with people. I'm really glad to talk with Straight Talk today, man. He's got a lot to say about very interesting things. And I feel like we're learning something. I feel like we're connecting here. It's good. Unfortunately, Stereo seems to have not connected. Do you see? So, wonder if I can find Straight Talk. Wonder if I can do a search for him, get him back on. I don't know. Straight Talk, if you're watching the stream on Twitch, man, I am looking forward to talking to you some more, man. It looks like we're having some technical issues right now. So it says it's connecting. I'm gonna give it just a little more time. Let's find out if it works. Anybody who is listening on the stereo app, feel free to hit that microphone button and say hello, ask any questions and things like that. Don't be shy. There's nothing shy about stereo, that's for sure. And on Twitch, of course, there's nothing shy about us. Come on, we're all Twitch fam. You can all say hello, you know. This show is now available on Spotify, guys. It's Archaeologistic Talks to Everyone is in the podcast area of Spotify. And so if you missed the show, you really want to hear something again, hey, you know what I mean? Go on Spotify and just give it a quick follow so that you don't miss it. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Right now, Spotify, Anchor is a platform I'm using to distribute to Spotify. Anchor is, you can't monetize anything to Canada right now. It's just the United States, right? So I'm not going to be doing advertising on this show. If at some point in time it becomes, monetization of ads becomes available, I might turn to something like that. You know, if you guys want to support the show, there's lots of ways to do it. Subscribing on the Twitch channel, there's little donation things on the Twitch channel. You know, there's all kinds of ways to sort of help make this kind of thing happen. But advertising, I'm not a huge fan of ads, right? So we'll see if we go down that road. Right now, it's not even available. I can't monetize even if I wanted to. So good, 2 points for you, 2 points for me. No problems there. I'm just going to keep doing what I love doing. And right now, talking to Straight Talk was fantastic. It says it's connecting, but I don't believe it. So I think what we're going to have to do is say goodbye to Straight Talk. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to him again. All right. And we'll go on. We'll move on to somebody else. All right. Stereo listeners, if you are checking in here, I'm afraid I lost connection with Straight Talk, but you go ahead and follow me, and you'll be able to find me live on the next chat, and hopefully we'll run into Straight Talk again. All right. Yeah, for sure. Fantastic guest, right side. That's true, man. That is awesome. Love the guy. Respect the guy. Totally appreciate him taking the time to say some really beautiful things, you know. I'm still going to wrap my head around a lot about what we just talked about. But so I'm going to end this chat on stereo and start a brand new one. Okay? So stereo listeners, you follow me up, and that way you'll see that I'm live again. You can continue the ride with me. And give Straight Talk a follow if you liked what he was saying, okay? I certainly will be. All right, and there we go. Boom. Come back to Twitch for a second. You guys. Wow. Looks like I had to end the stream to fix the connection issues. I had to end the stream and then start it up again. So like piecing this together as a single podcast is going to be a pain in the butt later on today. But everything I do, when I do this show, I will be uploading it as soon as possible to YouTube and Spotify. Both get the file, right? So if you missed something, if you wanted to hear it again, if you want to show somebody, you want to share it up, you know, all that stuff. That's how it's going to work. Yeah. Good times, guys. Should we do it again? Let's do it again. Stereo, go live right now. Random person from around the world. Maybe even we'll get Straight Talk back up. Let's find out. What's up, Jazz Keys?
Hello, archaeologistic.
Hi,
Ooh.
how you doing? It's a big word. I'm sorry about the name. You can just call me Archie if you want.
Not be sorry at all. I'm assuming you are an archaeologist.
I am, yes. But I'm doing a live stream on Twitch, and chatting with people from around the world. And so we've ended up with you. And so I appreciate you taking a second to say hello.
Hello. hello.
Yeah, sure.
How are you?
We're
I'm like, oh, God, I broadcasted live somewhere else. This is impressive. How are you?
Sure, I'm great. I'm great. I took some time this morning to sort of look after my domestics, and so I don't feel any pressure to do anything smart or productive. And so I
That's
loaded up
great. That's
stereo.
okay.
Yeah, jump on Twitch and talk to people. I got a nice glass of ice water, which is my favorite drink by far. And yeah,
Nice.
and
Okay.
it's you. I'm calling from Canada. Where are you from?
Oh wow. Okay, I'm in the UK.
Oh, right on, right on. It's always been a fantasy of mine to
Mhm.
travel the UK, but I don't want to go for like 2 weeks. I want to go
Yeah.
for like 6, 8 months, like a long time, you
Oh.
know?
Well, I'm sure there's archaeology work over here. Actually, my friend is an archaeologist, so she's currently
Hey,
in. So yeah, there's definitely work over here that you can get involved with. Obviously, I don't know personally, but I'm sure there must be.
oh
If
sure,
she's in
yeah.
archaeology, then I'm assuming.
Well, I can tell you, in the UK, the recent news in archaeology is that they formed a union. They've unionized a lot of archaeology work that happens in England, and the pay is not great, and it's a
Okay.
very hard, tough job. I'm sure your friend could tell you all about it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the easiest job, but the rewarding factor comes from like the finds. Like you're doing archaeology, so you have to have a passion for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. I think, to be honest, it's probably the same for music, even though it's not as how am I trying to describe that now? It's not the physical element that we're sort of like able to do at the moment, because obviously we are all sort of like locked inside. But obviously we are still trying to perfect our craft. I'm a teacher as well, so that hasn't stopped really.
Right on.
Still,
Well, hey, listen,
working
I'm gonna make an assumption here and say that you play piano.
I do play the piano.
Okay, well, I don't know what gave me that impression, but
Very good, brilliant. Do I play anything else? Is there anything else?
it's probably jazz.
you're-
If I were to.
you know what? You've got a fantastic mind. It baffles me. So yes, I do play jazz.
Right on.
I play piano, bass, and drums.
An upright bass, you mean?
Background, I suppose.
Sure, yeah.
Say that again.
Right, an upright bass or an electric bass?
Electric bass.
Right on. Yeah, I play bass as well. I'm actually a musician as well. I play the last band I was playing in. I played tenor saxophone and harmonica, and occasionally I would shake a tambourine around when there was no need for that in the songs. So I was like the fifth extra
you
sound,
see.
you know.
This could be fate because I've always said that I would marry someone who plays the saxophone. So
Well,
I feel like this has now become a dating channel.
Look,
So I've just made it into that, by the way.
well, I am married,
because you
so
say
I'm
you play
afraid
the
you're gonna
tenor
have to wait
sax.
a long time.
Oh well, you see that you're gonna have to tell me now how old you are if you're married with kids.
I am married
I just
with
need
kids,
to figure
yes.
out,
That's fair. You know what I mean, and that's okay. I'm not
That's
shy,
fair.
and I share with my listeners.
Only
you know.
because I've made this promise to the children that I teach because they're like, well, Miss, why are you not married? Which
Oh,
was a very
jeez.
personal question. And I
It
said,
really is.
well, basically, it is, isn't it? So I said I'm basically waiting for someone who plays the saxophone to be like, hi. My name is, and I go, oh my gosh, my kids have been looking for you. I'm meant to get married to you now. Here's the ring.
That's
If you
right.
could propose so I could take a photo and let my kids know that I've now found my future husband.
Amazing.
That would be great.
His
But
na-
obviously, I can't take a photo with you because you're in Canada. And yeah, you're nowhere nearby. I also don't know you, which I realise there's a flaw to this thing that I promised them. Really, to be honest,
There's a lot of
I've not helped
steps.
myself at
A lot
all.
of steps you'll be skipping there. That's true.
Yeah, quite a few. Just sort of like getting to know the person. Maybe find out their actual name because I'm assuming that your name is not archaeologistic.
No. No,
unless
my,
it is,
my
I don't
mother.
know.
No, my mother didn't name me that. We have JL Mama Kids here popping in to say hello to both of us here. So let's just have a quick listen to what she has to say here.
Oh,
What is the subject for today on Stereo Twitch? I'm just curious. I
Right
hope
on.
you guys are having a good day, and God bless you both.
Yeah.
And This is Mama Kids signing off
Hey,
her bubble.
Right on, right on. Thanks very much for listening, Mama Kids. We're having general chat here with Jazz Keys. We're also live on Twitch right now. If you go to the Twitch platform, you can watch the show from my end of things. I don't know if Jazz is live streaming this anywhere. And then
I have never been onto Twitch, so this is news to me. So
Right
I'm
on.
like, how many people have you got streaming to you now?
Oh, just a few people hanging out with me on Twitch at the moment, but it goes up and down and people come in and out. There's a category on Twitch called Just Chatting, and so people talk, right? It's about talk, right? And sometimes that's just
Right.
people hanging out watching YouTube videos together, but in my case, I'm doing a sort of a
Yeah.
talk show kind of format where I installed stereo on my computer, sort of, you emulate it, right? It's a phone app, but I'm emulating it on a computer. And then I'm live streaming it to the world on
Okay.
Twitch while we talk, you know? So it's a chance for people on Twitch are listening right now so they can ask us questions, and then the stereo app, people can ask questions like Mama Kids. You know, it's pretty,
Impressive.
it's very social, it's very fun for sure. I'd love to get back to the
It's
music thing
impressive.
though.
I'm-
Are you recording?
Yeah, come on.
Are you recording or touring, or is there any kind of fun things like that, or are you focusing more on sort of writing and teaching?
Well, currently at the moment, I am studying. I was actually abroad in China, but then I basically came
wow.
back over
Sure.
to see my family for a break back in 2020 in the January period.
Oh wow.
Of which then by that point, I tried to then get back over, everything was locked down.
Yeah, the shit hit the
So it
fan.
meant that I had to get all of my stuff shipped over, and sort of ended up having to stay in England and resettle back because I'd only just moved there like 2 months prior.
Were you teaching in China?
So yeah, I was teaching as a
Wow.
music teacher in China, and had a couple of slots and gigs over there as well. So I've done a bit. I've done a bit of touring. Played for a few nice R&B musicians and gospel because that's mainly my background.
Okay.
And jazz. But obviously with the year that we've had, we've not really been able to go out and play. So I spent a lot of it really just perfecting my craft really. And obviously with me joining as a teacher and I'm training, a lot of that has had to be put to the side as I'm now teaching other kids as well. So it's been nice because it's sort of like I'm relearning my instrument. So I am sort of enjoying it really. And just getting in contact with kids. I think I just,
Oh, there you are. Did I lose you?
yes, I've got stereo is temporarily
Yeah,
unavailable.
looks
Can
like
you
they're
hear
gonna
me?
do. I can hear you just fine. Even when that thing shows, I can hear you. So we're not getting disconnected, which is pretty good news. Well, listen, that's
I was like, oh.
fascinating. I've toured Canada a few times in sort of rock bands. My first tour, I was playing bass for a acoustic guitar player, a good friend of mine. He's a talented acoustic player, sort of folk rock thing going on. And so I've backed him up with a bass guitar on that tour. And that was, I mean, like, that was,
Brilliant.
at one point we had a loaf of bread and we had a jar of peanut butter. And so today, do you want to eat a peanut butter sandwich, or do you want to eat just peanut butter
Okay.
and then have bread for dinner? Or do you want
Oh. That is true music lifestyle, and no one will ever understand that, and that's okay. I got hooked on. I say slightly better was white chocolate mochas. I was never a coffee person, but bearing in mind that we're traveling late at night and driving, obviously I needed caffeine because there was no way I was going to get home without it.
Oh yeah.
And sort of stopped these service stations, and my friend was like, look, I know you don't do coffee, but I think it'd be, like, give it a try. And I'm like, I'm fine with tea, but coffee, it's just not for me. And he went, look, I know you like hot chocolate, so maybe try mocha. Well, that was it then. So white hot chocolate mochas, oh my gosh.
Amazing.
It's like tenor saxophone and people who like white chocolate mochas. Like, there's just a link of things that I'm like obviously looking for in a person that I would like to marry. So if they play tenor sax, alto sax, baritone, soprano, I'll allow it. It's fine. I was going to say it's a glorified clarinet, but I'm not going to do that to you. It's okay.
I love clarinet. I've always loved clarinet. I grew up with a household that played a lot of different kinds of music. And then when I was taking jazz in high school, playing sax in high school, there was a lot of jazz, and so I'm listening to a lot of big band jazz. And of course, big band is focus on clarinets, no joke, right? Like, there's a lot of it. So yeah, I love the liquor stick.
I love clarinet, especially for Rhapsody in Blue. But then it got to the point where I went to a school. And a lot of kids want to play the clarinet. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that they have chosen an instrument and they've chosen the clarinet. That is completely fine.
Well, if you're learning it, it's a very painful instrument to listen to.
Yeah.
Trombone too,
yeah.
it's a bad one. And
so please understand that I don't have a natural hate for any instrument, and even then, I'm gonna.
Not even the bagpipes, Jazz. Not even the pipes.
You know what? I prefer every instrument. You know what? Before I got into teaching, I loved every instrument bar the oboe. I still can't stand the oboe.
Really?
Oboe is the instrument that I honestly. Oh, there was this guy I went to university with, and if he's listening, he knows who he is. And he honestly was just this stuck-up oboist. He was so frustrated.
Well, you thought he was cool because he played oboe?
I'm fine. You know what? It's him that I didn't like, but him holding that oboe made me not like him and the oboe.
All right, you projected his personality into the instrument itself.
He became the oboe, and as soon as he tried to come up with the instrument and that reed, and I heard that duck sound, it was like instrumental PTSD. I had to leave the room. I was like, I'm sorry.
That's fair.
You know, you're very good.
Some people, when they put a certain food in their mouth, they're like, the flavor is a very specific flavor, and they really can't take it, you know. And so maybe this is a very similar experience. See, personally, I think the oboe has a beautiful, rich tone. Mama Kids has a question for you here. Let's hear what she has to say.
Oh, go.
Jazz keys. Have you ever come upon a hand pan? A hand pan, that's a really good instrument to play, but it takes a little bit to get acclimated to the instrument.
A hand pan, is that like a steel pan but for your hands, maybe?
Yeah, there's I think what she's getting at there, and Mama Kids, please tell us, please follow up with this. I think what she's getting at is like a hang drum is a steel drum that you put on your lap there, and then there's a hang pan. It's a pan drum, basically like a steel pan drum, but you hit it with your fingers and hands, right? It sounds, if you know, do you know what a hang drum is? Have you ever seen one of these?
Yeah.
They're a big flying saucer looking thing that you put on your lap. It was a Swedish. It was, if I may be wrong about this, but it was a Swedish or Dutch. I think they're a Swedish group who designed this instrument, and it's a big UFO metal thing that you put on your lap, and you strike it with your hand, and it makes these metal steel drum kind of sound. But Jazz, it sounds like angels. The sound is unbelievably cool, right? So they started making these things, the world demand exploded, and then they just stopped making them. The hung drum now, because the hung drum they're not even manufacturing them anymore. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars if you can get your hands on one at all. It's a very rare instrument now. Here she is again. Mama Kids.
You're correct, Arch. You're correct in your explanation.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, that's
brilliant.
Oh, and it is. If you search hang, like H-A-N-G there, drum on YouTube, you will see videos that will tear your heart out. I've never heard a drum quite like this thing. It's a percussion instrument, but it's more than that because it plays notes in a very specific scale, so you can create chords and things, you know. Jazz, do you own a synthesizer? Or do you have a full-size piano at home?
I do. So I've got a couple of keyboards here that I like use to either take around or gig with, but normally I'll probably just take along the bigger one, to be honest, because I've got like a synth which is like my Korg. I've always stuck with a Korg for that, and then anything piano sound I've gone with a Roland.
A Roland
everyone's
E-piano.
done, you need to go to the Nord, and I'm like, I've just never been a Nord girl.
Well,
I've tried, but no.
The Nords are very quality, and they sound, the organ in particular, the organ emulation is amazing, right? So that's why a lot of people go Nord. For piano,
Yeah.
I've heard some amazing Roland e-pianos from many generations ago. I mean, Roland's been building those pianos, those e-pianos, right, for a long time, you know, and they're perfect for gigging.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I really like
Yeah.
those for sure. Here's Mama Kids.
If you want to hear the hand pan, you can listen to Hang Massive. They call themselves Hang Massive. Two guys, I think they're from the UK or Australia, and they play so well.
Okay,
If
right
you
on.
want to check that out on YouTube, it's up to you.
That's a good tip there. They hang massive. Those guys, let's say they each have a hung drum, it's going to be $4,000 to $6,000 sitting in their laps. Like they're wildly expensive now. Yeah, and so there is knockoffs that you can buy, but nothing compares to the originals.
I've seen one, but I'm trying to think where I saw one. It'll come to me later, but I know I've definitely seen one in a video, but I just can't think where.
Sure, yeah.
So that'll frustrate me.
So you're teaching music now. I would like to I'm going to set this record straight here for everybody on Twitch and everybody listening on the Stereo app. Just so you know, no one suffers like a music teacher. All the teachers in a school, you can think, oh, they must have a pretty hard job with all the kids and things like that. It's a whole other world of pain for music teachers. And so I say respect your music teacher, fear their wrath, definitely pray for them. Okay.
And also pay for our earplugs also.
Oh.
I don't have a Cash App available, but you can find me either on Facebook or on here, and then you can message me on Instagram. And if you would like to send me money for earplugs, they are definitely needed.
Earplug donation stream.
On a termly basis.
Earplug donation stream. That's
great.
What's going to happen here for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? The problem is you can't really wear
great.
those because you have to hear the kids. So
that is very true. It's very true. And obviously we've been teaching with masks and things on as well. So trying to sing with a mask on has just been like a different thing. So
are you teaching are you teaching general band? Are you teaching sort of everything, or did you end up focusing just piano?
So it's class. No, so it's everything. So we do music analysis, we do genres, we do so I do actual sort of like Perry lessons. So I'll have a kid who wants to learn the piano, a kid who wants to learn the ukulele, for example, or singing.
Oh yeah, forbid that. No ukulele,
please. That might want to do bass. Yeah.
No ukulele. Don't teach that instrument.
So the ukulele is your trigger. Okay, I play the ukulele, so I'll stay quiet on that one.
That instrument is so. Just take the training wheels off and buy a guitar. Just buy a damn guitar.
Oh, you know what it is? It's the B string for me. E-A-D-G. And then it's that B. I'm like, why isn't it not C and F? As a musician, I'm going, you've decided to tune in fours, and then you get to the B, like, no, I'm going to tune in a third. But obviously I know it's for the minor quality. But I can't,
Jazz,
in my brain, I can't compute that.
It's a bridge we all had to cross learning guitar. You can too. Don't be afraid of those weird strings, okay? It's okay. It's okay. But I'll tell you something, when you play a goddamn guitar, it sounds great. When you play a ukulele, the plink, 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 plink.
Oh, it sounds cute.
Oh, it's cute,
it
yeah.
Adorable.
I'll take 30 seconds of ukulele. And then, oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right. Give us a great chord progression, can you? Can you? Let me hear the plinka plinka.
I'll give you one.
All right, here we go.
There you go.
Woo! Yeah.
Okay, next minute went. Opportune moment.
You know what? I despised ukulele until you just played me that love song, and now I can't play any. I'm quitting saxophone. I'm going full-time uke.
Oh no! Don't do that. No, that's the whole reason as to why I was surprised. You know, supposedly meant to be speaking to you is that you're meant to play the saxophone.
Oh, I play the crap out of saxophone. I my last band I was in, I'm not amazing, okay? But when I was in high school, I could sight read anything on a tenor sax, no matter how complex you gave it to me, I could play it, right? And then years went by where I didn't play sax, and my buddy phones me up one day. He says, I got my sister's tenor sax from high school in the basement. He says, I'll give it to you if you play in my band. And he was a piano player, and I'm like, all right, I'll work for a tenor sax, you know what I mean? And I've always played harmonica, blues and sort of blues folk country thing. I played since I was like very 9 or 10 years old. I played a lot of harmonica, and so I'm very good with harmonica. And I hold my own with a saxophone, especially when we talk about the rock and roll genre. Often it's a pentatonic scales and blues rock. You know, the chord progressions are very tame. It's a format that's easy to jam with, and so you just sort of learn to jam with a sax. You know, I don't read sheet music anymore, though. If you put sheet music in front of me, it would be a struggle. You know, I've lost it basically.
It's still like I'm still at that point where it's a struggle. Like I understand notation, I can teach notation, that I can sight read very basic things. But if someone was to, you know,
well, piano is the
music
cruelest.
teacher that I'm with at the moment, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel so inferior. Because she just goes, right, play it, and I'm like, can you give me like a week or so to like figure this out? Like
that's right.
Like I know like the thing is tomorrow, but you're asking me to sight read this like right now, and that's just not me. Like if you ask me to listen to a piece of music and then figure it out, I will figure it out on the spot. That's perfectly fine. But do not just give me notation and go sight read. I will shut down. I will have a panic attack. I will have a breakdown. I will quit.
Well,
so,
no pressure around here, okay? But yeah, I get that. And piano is the cruelest of all sight reading music. If anybody is a musician out there, you know that it's 6 or 7 notes all stacked on top of each other, and the note range of a piano is gigantic, and so. Yeah, saxophone, it's linear. You can only play one note at a time, and so you have to play it fast, maybe, but you don't have to stack things, and so that's why sight reading for sax is much more accessible.
Unless you're Courtney Pine and you can play chords, obviously, but you know,
God,
I'm a massive Courtney Pine fan. See.
Did you just tell me you can play chords on a saxophone? How do you do that? What are you talking about here?
You can't ask Courtney Pine.
I'm afraid of the answer, though.
I'm staying out of it.
Does it sound like the devil, or does it sound good?
It sounds good. Like I'm not gonna lie. It's probably it was probably at that moment that I realized I wanted to marry a saxophonist. I didn't want to marry Courtney Pine, but him playing that instrument at that time was probably the only time where I thought, oh my gosh, I'm in love with the saxophone.
All right. Listen here. I'm going to tell you about touring Canada with a saxophone. All right. I'm in my 20s. I'm touring in a rock band across the country with a record label. It's a dream come true for a lot of people. And my band is cool. We practice a lot. We play 4 or 5 nights a week, so we're tight. You know, we're playing our material tight. Mm-hmm. Now, when you play sax in a rock band in small towns across Canada, you don't have the attractive women coming to meet you. You have their moms, because their moms were cool in the 80s. Their moms were cool when saxophone was cool. And so you get these really drunk, like really haggard drunk ladies. I love saxophone. You know, it's not great.
How many innuendos do you get with that when they chat you up? You know, I want to blow your instrument. Oh, really?
Oh, so many. It's a waves of them, you know. Rabbi here has joined us here. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, you can play chords on a saxophone. There's certain fingerings, false fingers. You have to listen. You don't need to listen to Courtney Pine. You go listen to some early Train, some early Coltrane. Well, not early Coltrane, but some late Coltrane.
Yeah, okay.
You can listen to.
I'm unaware of this.
Some of the others, even Ornette Coleman. Yeah, listen to the people that did it before Courtney Pine.
Right on.
You'll hear it. Especially Coltrane, even John Gilmore.
Well, come on, man. What you just said there's some of the giants of jazz, you know what I mean? So if anybody's played a chord on a saxophone, it's got to be those guys, right? You know what, man? I do this during the chats that we have here, live stream on Twitch and here live on stereo. I write these things down, right? And just so I don't forget, because people give me advice, and sometimes it's very fast and free-flowing. I don't like forgetting these things. You gave me a great tip there, man, so I appreciate that. I'm actually going to make sure that I check that out, all right? So,
if I remember correctly, it's something to do with the tones and how they are. So I'm not. I don't know because obviously I don't play the saxophone, but he somehow manages to do it with sort of like the overtones, and it then creates a chord, and it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So sort of like very similar to a piano, but obviously a piano is sort of like, you know, you'll play C, but it will obviously resonate to G, C, then the E string, then C again, then G. Yeah, so similar to that, but obviously for a saxophone, it'll just obviously resonate as a chord, but I don't know how it's done.
Yeah, no, maybe it's not creating
reason, overtone is coming from it.
Yeah, some sort of overtone that's a subtle sound that rises through the note, perhaps. You know, something like this probably happens, right? So that's interesting though, because it's a very I don't mind telling you that you have to have like lungs of steel to play saxophone and harmonica.
Yeah.
It's a very it's a wind instrument. You got to blow, and you don't get a lot of inhale time for a lot of stuff. So maybe blowing, making chords on a sax or an instrument like it. Maybe you can do this with all reed instruments. I don't know, you know. But it maybe.
I know he's done it on the clarinet. So he's done it on the clarinet, and he's done it on a electrical clarinet, which I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to
electrical
Google
clarinet.
That 1 minute.
I'm not even sure I like that. That doesn't sound right to me. Like it's like a MIDI clarinet, right? Like, yeah, I kind of like I like the real wood and a real reed. I've seen MIDI saxophones, and it's kind of a toy.
Iwi or something. Iwi. Iwi.
Hey, it sounds like shiwi, which is really not a
electronic wind instrument. That's what it stands for. An iwi.
An iwi.
An iwi.
Well,
there you go. Now you're gonna buy yourself an iwi.
I will not buy an iwi. I'm sorry. It's something fundamentally wrong there. Robbie's got something to say here.
No, it's not a subtle overtone. It's actually a chord, man.
It's as strong as
overtones
the other
on the
notes.
horn. I'm a saxophone player.
Great.
So I've been doing it a long time. Another person that can do it, that does it today, that does it really well, is Kenny Garrett. So it's not a subtle overtone.
Okay.
It is false fingerings, and it actually plays the chord. Now, and you hear it. Another person that can do it and does it really well, and he's still living, is Pharoah Sanders. Pharoah Sanders, because trained when, you know. So those people, you know, you'd want to listen to them. But it's not a subtle overtone.
Okay.
It's in chord.
Wow, man.
It's chords.
I love it.
And once you learn the technique, you can do it all over the horn.
That is wild.
So it's basically
man.
like a multiphonic technique on the saxophone, I'm assuming. So
I love it. Next level. And you know what? I've played sax for couple decades and more now, man. And it never occurred to me to even attempt something like this. I'd have to actually see someone do it to fully understand what you're getting at, but I do believe you 100%. It's possible that I've done something like that on my sax accidentally, but I certainly have never created chords intentionally.
I wonder if it's like through like overblowing, possibly. I don't know. I'm just thinking the amount of power that you need just to get one note. So
I think Ravi's suggesting it's a simple technique. Like it's really probably not as hard as we think, you know. So right on. So listen, let's get back to the iwi, okay?
Go back to the iwi.
Jazz, do you know what a shiwi is?
A shiwi. I know what a shiwi.
I'll leave it at that. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Right. I'm just gonna put this out there. Do not play your shiwi. That is
you can't play a chord on your shiwi.
Your shiwi is not for that part of opening on your body. Okay, that is for a different opening. Do not put any shiwi near your mouth. For the love of God, that is not to play. I mean, it might make a nice sound because it has got a hole there.
I don't know.
And anyway, that's not what I'm saying. Do not play a shiwi.
I guarantee that a shiwi costs a lot less than an iwi, though. And so it might be accessible as an instrument. It's probably more accessible for kids.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Do not play a shiwi. For anyone listening, do not play a shiwi.
Very good.
Good God.
All right, here's Mama Kids here. Mama Kids, by the way, thanks very much for hanging out with us and offering this. Ravi, thanks very much for the comments, guys. We really appreciate it. We're here to chat with you. So this is awesome, guys. Here's Mama Kids.
I've heard of a plucky Have you ever heard of a plucky? I went to Austin in Boston. I rhymed. And they had something called a plucky. It was a small little guitar of some sort. Looked like a small little banjo.
Okay, no, I haven't. I haven't heard of a plucky.
Is it like a kalimba?
A palimba?
Is it like a kalimba? I don't know.
Kalimba, like a thumb piano.
Yeah, I wonder if it's that. I've got no idea. I've never heard of a plucky, so you're telling me things here. I don't know.
Okay, here's Rabbit.
But she said a small banjo. I'm having a look.
Now you don't have to overblow. You actually gotta blow like you have to blow a little less. But once it's okay. I also play the Ewe that you were laughing about, guy, and it takes Michael Brecker played the Ewe, so I wouldn't laugh about it. It takes some skill.
Okay,
but
no,
it also takes some.
I will recognize that.
To really get. Depends on what kind of sound you want out of the Ewe. It's going to cost you a little bit to get equipment, but with the saxophone you can't. How can I say it? When you're doing, she's right about the multiphonics, but when you do it, you blow kind of like less, but it's more how you touch the keys.
Okay, so Rabbi, sax player to sax player here. I think what you're getting at is that you're allowing air. You're not sealing some notes perfectly, so some air can get through the pads slightly. Is that maybe the technique? If you could describe that for me a little better, I'd really appreciate it. It's a technique. There's no doubt about that. That's, they don't teach that in high school, man. I'll tell you that right now. And you know what? I'm not going to make fun of the Iwi. All right. I will check out an Iwi video to see some talent. I have no doubt that it takes talent to play it. You know what I mean?
It's pretty awesome. It's an interesting sound, to be honest. I mean, again, I'm a massive Courtney Pine fan, so I'm just putting Courtney Pine out there. But I'm sure there's, as he's mentioned, there's other people out there that play it. Yeah, have a listen.
Sure.
They're pretty.
Now there's companies out there making plastic saxophones, plastic brass instruments in particular. You can buy what's called a P trumpet, right? Plastic trumpet. And so the entire thing is made of plastic, right? I thought that was brilliant when I saw these instruments, and when I watched the videos, they don't sound that bad either. Like, they're actually a decent tone considering that it's basically like PVC or whatever it is, right? They're pretty good.
You get like plastic trombones as well, can't you? And like there's something called a dude, I think it's called.
Dude.
A D-O-O-D, a dude.
Okay.
I know. Your mind's gonna be like, oh my god, I've got so many instruments to like buy. I've got an EV to buy, I've got a dude to buy.
I'm gonna look up a dude.
It's like a single reed sort of concept basically for children. So it's basically sort of like the next step after playing the recorder. So mainly for smaller children, because that's something that we're promoting in our school now, just to sort of get kids more involved in instruments.
Okay.
So if it means that they've not really got sort of like large enough hands to play, for example, like the clarinet, then it might be that rather than them having to play the recorder, they can play the dude.
Right. Wow. Well, honestly, I've never seen a dude in my life, so I'm gonna have to look that one up as well. I'm learning a lot today, and really appreciate hanging out with you, Jazz. I'm so glad that you've shared some time with me today. Just to remind everybody on stereo that we are live on Twitch. If you search Archaeologistic on Twitch, you'll be able to find us, and so you can watch the show while we're chatting and keep the stereo thing going on your phone and just interact in all the ways. If you want something to look at while we're doing this, you know what I mean? Here's Rabbi again with the chording technique here.
I would, you know what? After this, what I would do for you, whatever your name is, archaeologistic.
You can just call me Archie, buddy. It's a bad one. It's a bad username.
Live with you, and I would play my Ewe for you, or play the recording of my record, so you can hear it. But when you YouTube the Ewe, man, go YouTube Michael Brecker playing the Ewe. He's the best.
Michael Brecker.
So you really get to see it, so you don't get cheated. You know, he's the innovator of it.
Okay. All right, man. wrote that down, and there you go, everybody listening. If you want to see a master iwi player, Michael Brecker apparently is very talented at it. So this is the kind of thing that I look up after stream, guy. You know what I'm saying here? Just so we want to keep the conversation flowing, but I'm writing this stuff down, and I follow up on this because what happens is that people come and visit my show again, and I owe it to them. They've shared with me that a good tip, you know, that check this out. This is awesome. I will.
Yeah.
All right. I totally will.
Yeah. I've just researched him now, so I'll make sure I'll have a look at him afterwards.
Right on.
We've got quite a few things going for him.
Right on. Well, do you come from a musical family, Jazz?
I do. My dad's a guitarist. He mastered the B string.
Oh,
And,
wow. They said it couldn't be done.
But you know what? If my dad had shoved me on the guitar, like when I was younger, I'd have been fine. But I got to a point where I just understood that the guitar was tuned in fourths. And after that, the B string just rendered me like, you know, catatonic. I just went, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. Tune yourself to C and F and then we'll talk.
It sucks. I know it sucks. I know. But it makes sense. Once you crush your brain into the mapping of the fingering, it just, for some reason, it works better. You want that. It's just, you don't want it while you're learning.
Yeah. I got to the point where I got to university and I went, oh my God, I really want to play the guitar. No!
You know what helps me a lot of recommendation when I say to people if they want to learn guitar, do yourself a big favor and do not buy a steel string guitar. Buy a classical guitar, right, with the nylon strings.
Yeah.
Those guitars have a wide neck, so it's much easier to land your fingers where you want them, and the strings don't hurt your feelings at all. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to shred your hand apart. So you'll be able to play for longer and more accurately while you're learning. And they sound great. I mean, nylon strings never break, and they sound great, and they feel great. And it's just a perfect instrument for learning. And the classical guitar is no joke anyways. I mean, you can play some mean blues and rock on a classical acoustic guitar.
I've seen some amazing classical guitar when I was at uni.
Yeah.
And, he was honestly one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Shredding, right? Like, so the flamenco players and everything, like, oh.
Just how far his fingers were stretching just made me go, that must hurt. Also, that's really cool.
Yeah, there's something attractive about this.
Also, your girlfriend must be really happy. There was a few lists of things that I just had to go, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we switching? Are we swinging from saxophone players to classical flamenco players? Is that what we're doing right now?
I'm just saying that saxophonists have very good lungs, as you mentioned before, so that was a good thing for me.
Strong tongues.
That wasn't actually what I was thinking about. I was just thinking that sounds really nice, and maybe if they wanted to serenade me on our anniversary, Christmas, Jesus' birthday, my birthday, then that would be nice.
That is nice. You're right. That is nice. Yes. Now,
but also you break as well. So there's also that good side. So there was a few things
there.
That made me think.
Sure, absolutely. Those flamenco players, they have very accurate fingers. So there's that. Accuracy. Accurate. Oh, you guys. I guess it's Innuendo Monday here on the stream, here in stereo. All right. So we hope we're not pissing anybody off. It's just for jokes. All right. Jared has.
It doesn't take long for musicians to head down a dark path, does it? Really?
Well, I mean, sometimes that's how mom met dad, right? So it's okay. It's all right. It's a story of life, right?
Okay.
Jared here has something to say to us here. Let's have a listen to Jared.
So I hear you guys are on the topic of musicians and all that. We have a particularly famous female musician that was here in Australia back in the 1980s. And she was famous with playing harmonica for one of the bands. I can't remember the exact name of the band. It's Red Bone, something like that. It was something along the lines of that. That's probably not. I probably got it wrong. But she was famous for playing the harmonica. And she was one of the most talented harmonica players that was in central Queensland, Australia at the time.
Right on, man.
She was famous for going ahead and getting her harmonica and playing it with the power of queefs.
Oh, Jared.
Sorry, what? Did I just hear that correctly?
I think you did. Right side, are you getting this on Twitch? Let's well, Jared, let me tell you something, okay? That's a valid way to play that instrument, I suppose. I will not dismiss it. But you're from Australia. I'll tell you, one of my favorite blues bands of all time is from Australia with a master harmonica player, and the band is called the Backsliders. You might be familiar with them because if you're from Queensland, I mean, you can't go too far to run into the Backsliders. But to the world, I would like to say, if you check out an Australian three-piece band called the Backsliders, Delta blues guitarist, killer drummer with a washboard on his chest, and then this harmonica player that will tear your head off. Super talented blues. They go into like a Delta thing. They do covers, but they're just so good. So 2 points for Australian blues there. Jared, I don't even know what to say about that, man. I don't know if Jazz and I...
Speechless. It's probably the first time anyone's rendered me speechless on the app that someone played an instrument with their vajooju. But you know what? It's up to you. I've learned something new today, and it's something I'm trying to think when and where I can bring it up just to give somebody else the same shock as to what I've just heard.
I'm not going to bring it up.
No, it's something that I feel like I need to like just bring up at either maybe a random staff meeting in school or maybe on a date somewhere.
No, just don't bring it up. Just let's leave it right there.
I can't. It's fantastic weird knowledge.
I know, but I think in pictures, and so that really hurt me. Rabbi, what are you saying, buddy? Let's hear what Rabbi says here.
Yeah, leave it.
Yeah! Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you. Oh, listen to that, eh? Wow. Wow. Okay. Man.
That's a sample of the Yui.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so that's it's a rich tone.
Rabbi, are you single?
Hey, ho! It's happening! It's happening!
If you'd played your saxophone first, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah,
but...
what?
Oh my God.
Why did you wait so long to reveal this?
Oh my gosh! Like I'm sure every other musician in the room has also just done this, but their face has just done that like something stinks in the room face.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh.
That face. I was just doing that all the way through.
Well,
I was
what?
Like, my hand.
Rabbi, here's what I'm impressed with, man, is that the notes are what they are. It sounds synthy, right? But that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. And then the accuracy is really, it's flipping between the notes really well. It's creating nuances and a bit of soul thing going on. You can trail things, you know. But then as the notes dived there, because it's a synth tone, the notes got the tone got rich. Like it really went into a bassy richness that some instruments, when they reach their extremes of their note range, they lose a bit of strength, you know. Saxophone is not one of those. The lower you go with a sax, the richer it gets, really. I mean, the brown note is, you know, come on, right? But in that case...
this is why I've always been a baritone tenor person, so...
Oh, yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, the I struggled with an alto, but I play a tenor very well. I've never played a baritone in my life. I'd love to. I love the sound, you know? Yeah, but the iwi there, it's got a great range. It's strong all across the map. It's strong at the top and the bottom there, is what I'm getting, right? So, right on. Thanks for sharing that, man, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. I'm gone. I'm gone. My Instagram's open. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Slide on in the DM. It's fine.
Right side.
Good God, that was amazing.
You're a silly person. Right on. All right. Well, do we dare listen to what Jared has to say here? Come on, Jared.
Go on.
She's more well known also for doing a half an hour long performance with the power of her queefs through the harmonica.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god! Who is this woman? Please find the name of this woman and message back in. I need to know.
No, wait. Message Jazz on that. I'm not sure I want to know.
I need this information.
All
The
right.
world deserves to know.
Here's Rabbi here. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Rabbi or Rabbi? Maybe you can correct us on that. I don't want to get it wrong, man. No disrespect.
Well, because you can go 8 octaves high, 8 octaves low. It's a wind controller, so I'm blowing, so I can express it like a saxophone, but I'm controlling the module because all of my sounds are on the Yamaha Motif Rack XS.
I see. Right.
So I'm controlling that. That's why I said it costs a bit to really get a good sound from it, because the UE itself, when you buy it, it comes with sounds, but the sounds are not so good. So you can MIDI it through something else.
Sure. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
has better sounds.
Of course.
And it takes a little bit of investment. Because that's why I said it depends what you're trying to do with it. I mean, there's so much more I can do with it. I just was trying to give you a sample of what it sounds like. That's why it sounds synthy, because it's controlling a Yamaha Motif Rack XS module.
Yeah,
with
and
50,000 patches in it.
Right. Well, honestly, man, that's what I pictured. That you would own a really nice rack mount next to it that would, or maybe soft synths. You can maybe do this through software as well, like through a laptop. But a nice hardware rack, and then effects. I heard a really nice reverb on that, a little touch of reverb there. And so a nice effects units. Man, I'm impressed. I mean, and it's got to be smaller than a sax, so that's kind of nice, right? Like.
Yeah. I mean, he's still not answered my question as to whether he's single. But
Okay.
it's fine. I'm okay. I'm
No.
fine.
We'll get it out
I'm
of
not
him.
wanting to support a proposal, but I'm fine. I'm okay.
We'll get there. It's okay. So, can you tell me a little bit about living in England lately? Is the shutdowns bothering everybody? Is everybody hanging out really well? Is everybody cool?
So weirdly today we've just had another lift off some restrictions. So March the 8th was when all the kids went back to school. So I was working from home initially, and then I went back in probably about a week or so before the schools actually opened back in March, 8th of March. And then today the restrictions are that you can now visit up to 6 people, but in their back garden.
Oh my
they can be
God.
from different households. Whereas we couldn't do that before. We could only meet one person from another household, and it had to be outside, and we could have a cup of tea.
Wow.
That was allowed.
Okay.
But bearing in mind, no shops were really open unless it was sort of like for key workers, things like food, beverage, blah blah blah, like petrol, that sort of thing. So nothing was really open. So people were meeting, but it was just mainly for walks, really.
And people are happy. They're respectful. Life is still good, you know. Or do you find you run into a lot of depression or people having some struggles with this?
There's people that are having struggles, myself included, who've just been like, okay, I feel really locked up. I feel really quite isolated and secluded. There's those who are like, oh my God, I appreciate being secluded, which again, I'm also one of those. I'm in the middle where I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm on my own, but I also feel quite lonely in that I can't break that feeling of seclusion and going to see someone and thinking, okay, now I just want to go back home. It's just a little bit weird. So, you know, all I've had to deal with is literally going to school and coming back home. So I'm literally just talking mainly to kids and to some teachers if I manage to see them, and then going home. So, and apart from that, I might see my family, but sometimes I've not been able to.
Yeah, not a lot of personal
isolate,
level interactions. Yeah, that's work. That work and
I've not really seen any of my friends for, you know, a good year or so, which is, you know, upsetting. And I might just even to the camera.
You're making me
like,
cry. Hang in there.
Yeah. I know.
Here's Rabbi here.
Yes, I am, Jazz. Yes, I am.
Yes. Wait, how old are you?
Okay. Let's not.
There's so many questions.
You guys.
How old are you? How quickly can you get to the UK?
Maybe.
When can you propose?
How quick? Slow down, Jazz.
My mother needs to know these things, okay?
Slow
She needs to
down.
know. It's not me rushing this. It's my mother. I've got nothing to do with this.
Oh
It's my
yeah,
mother's
that's
brain
a
going.
good scapegoat
Yeah,
there,
it's
right?
not me.
Got it.
Oh, man.
You take this off stream, okay? I love it.
Send me the entire album. I need it.
I love it.
It's oh my god.
Well,
I'll just listen to that tonight.
Here in Canada, there is a lot of people who have like struggles with this, right? And it's it's been described sort of as this sort of weariness of all the lockdown things, and people getting just sort of tired of it. And so you'll see a lot of people doing hangouts and things that are. It's not part of the plan. Like, we're not supposed to get together in groups, and people are doing it more often now because they're simply sick of playing by the rules, right? And you know what? I'd call that unfortunate, but I would also say that that's human nature. That there are some people out there who are very social people. I'm not. I can just stay home and play Apex Legends and eat food, and I'm good. I'm good to just play video games on Twitch and hang out with my Twitch fam and hang out on stereo.
Yeah.
I'm great. But there's other people who really need interaction. Now I have a young daughter who I can tell you in grade kindergarten and grade 1, grade 2ers, they're suffering. They're not playing with kids on the same level that they did before, and they need it. They really need that social interaction, right?
They need that.
It's hard on the kids.
Definitely agree with that. It's something that we've realised in school, how even the kids are interacting sort of with us as adults, and obviously having to reassure parents because they're obviously scared. The kids are scared, but then they're coming with like, "Oh, miss, you had COVID. Why didn't you die?" And I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Not everyone dies from COVID.
Yeah, no.
You have to really go through these things, and unfortunately, we've had quite a bit of a hit recently with the teachers, where we've unfortunately had to cope with the loss of one of our staff.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, due to depression. So unfortunately, they lost their life last week, Thursday. And that's just literally just down to they've just not been able to cope financially, and just with the experience of lockdown, they just had enough. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Massive hit. So, knowing how much this has hurt people and injured people mentally, physically, financially, economically, family-wise, whatever's going on at home, you sort of don't really know the battle until that you really ask somebody, like, how are you? And
and be on a level with them that they can communicate with you in an honest way, that they feel comfortable sharing. We know that abusive relationships has increased. We know that mental health crisis of all kinds and addictions of all kinds has skyrocketed during this time. This might be a good time for both you and me to just sort of shout out to people who are hurting, let you know that we care, and people care. So you go ahead and get some help. Professional help like counseling is not for everybody, but if you haven't tried it, give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try it. It's nothing. There's no shame in it. And it's so easy to make a phone call, and then it just could be brave enough to make that phone call, go down and have a little meeting, or in this case, there'd probably be a lot of web chat, little webcam things. But if you feel like you're struggling, if you feel like you're under the water a little there, just reach out to somebody and make that connection. If it doesn't work out for you, you tried. If it does work for you, hey, it's disco time, right? So. Yeah, we definitely want to see everybody doing well.
There's also Samaritans. There's also your crisis team available at your hospitals.
Yep, there's faith groups if you want to go that route
as well. They might have support as well for counselling. And also remember that your friends and your family are there to listen. Obviously, the ones that you are in contact with, even if it means they don't pick up the phone initially, there are other people there available to help you and listen to you and genuinely tell people how you are. We want to know. Even I've had to be a bit more open. I'm normally quite a stubborn person who doesn't reveal their feelings at all, but I've actually had to go, you know what, I'm not okay. And that's okay to go, that's okay to say it,
It is.
I'd rather someone said you know, I'm not okay, and we can support them and help them, rather than find out, with how I have unfortunately with my colleague, find out that actually they're not okay, and we're only finding that out after they've passed. And you know, that's I'm not trying to be selfish by any stretch of the imagination, because I know what that feeling's like, and I know I've been there. But at the same time, let us know. I'm not a professional, but if you can't speak to anybody, then even on my profile it says just reach out and speak to me. If there's some way that I can help, you know, find someone that can help. I'd rather be there for that person than find out you're not there at all.
I'd be there for a total stranger. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to speak to that a little bit, Jazz, actually, because on the other side of it, let's say somebody is doing fine, right? It's really hard. I did some work in sort of mental health related stuff a few years ago. I took a lot of little courses as well in mental health crisis prevention, reaction stuff, response to mental health issues. You know, it's really hard to know when someone's struggling. It's hard. People hide it well. People don't open up to you. It's hard to see when someone is has an issue, right? And so, if someone is maybe a little different than normal, if you can pick up on little clues that you're used to seeing them a certain way, and they've really become jaded, they've really become silent, they've really become, they've changed a personality trait in a subtle way or in a strong way, that's a first clue that maybe something's deeper is wrong, you know? So just watching for little clues like that. Also, like Jazz says, just simply finding the time and the space to be able to be like, hey, are you doing okay? Tell me. And you know, pull it out of them. Sometimes that's really good stuff too, right? So it's hard to see it, guys, is what I'm getting at there. You don't have to be a mental health expert, you don't have to be a psychologist, but if you know your friends, right? If you know your people, and so if you see something's wrong, bring it up. It's okay. You know what I mean? Just bring it up. It's easy for you to say. I don't think you'll be stepping on anybody's toes. And if you do have an issue in your hands, then you'll be glad you brought it up in the first place. Here's Mama Kids talking about her experience here. Let's see.
I do have a telehealth therapist that I talk to about this pandemic, but I'm just like other people, sick of it. And I walk outside, I wear my mask, and I see other people not wearing their mask. It's like,
oh yeah,
what are you thinking? I don't know, is your mask suffocating? I don't know, maybe you can just buy those medical ones, and that will suffice. But I don't know, I'm just ready for this to be over. And I keep myself busy, and I'm crocheting a baby blanket for my nephew for his first son.
Crochet is an art form that doesn't get enough shout out. It doesn't get enough respect.
Something I've never been able to master.
Crochet is a wonderful, imagine sitting down and tying thousands of tiny knots, right? Yeah. So it's a beautiful skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
crocheting
sure.
and the bee string has rendered me clueless. So there's a few things in life I'm just not going to get over, guys, and that's two of you. Just naming all of my flaws today. It's fine. Do you want to mention that I can't also stomach tomatoes and peas? I mean, let's just list them all out. It's fine. It's okay.
That's okay.
Fine.
We still love you. All right. We're still there.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks.
So, Mama Kids,
nice to be appreciated.
You're right. You're right about people. Sort of when you see people walking around that are not wearing masks. There is certain people do have actually issues with it. And then, like, there's a lot of issues with masks alone that have risen to the surface over the past 6 months to a year, kind of thing, where the society walking around always wearing masks. Early on, like here's an example. Early on in the pandemic, there was some studies done about those neck gaiters. If you know what that is, it's like a cloth you wear around your neck and you can just pull that up over your face, right? So people were wearing those. And there was a quick study done, at least one, concerning those. And it basically said that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really prevent your breath coming out very well. And it certainly doesn't protect you from droplets going in. And then some study even suggested that it's worse to wear a neck gaiter because the moisture, the droplets will stay on the neck gaiter. Like it doesn't, you know, so. But here's the thing, because the rules here in Canada, maybe you could speak to the UK about this, but the rules for masks when they talk about going into stores and things like that, the rules are that it must cover the nose, the mouth, and the chin. And then that's a mask. That's where it stops. And so you see people all the time wearing those neck gaiters because they're super comfortable and they're really easy. They don't have things you put around your ears. You just pull it up on your face and you drop it down when you walk out, right? And so it's pathetic protection against any kind of airborne virus like this, and yet people wear the neck gaiter thing because of convenience, and no one says anything about it because it follows the rules. It covers the chin and it covers the nose, but really it's not really doing anything. Like it's a terrible mask as they go. Right?
I learned that with like obviously you can get these fashion ones from places like Boohoo, ASOS. You know, you've got sort of
what, designer masks,
content people that, you know, are obviously making their own masks with the names and things on, and actually unless it's sort of a medical mask or a KN95 mask, the N95 mask, which is what they're sort of called medically, these are literally the only sort of masks that are going to be able to protect you. Even if you were to have the face shield on, even sort of doctors have still got the N95 underneath that because they still need to be protected.
Yeah, for sure. The I made it myself mask is questionable.
Yeah, so I honestly was literally with these KN95 masks, N95 masks, and then I switched over to one of these, you know, £1 masks whilst I was in school because they didn't really want us wearing masks in school because they're like, oh, it's frightening the kids. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, my healthcare matters. So if I'm not able to kids, then that's going to be an issue. And then
leave it to management.
Well, exactly. The week that I wore these, you know, very nice, colourful, happy-go-lucky masks was the week that I then caught COVID. And actually speaking to because I ended up having to go into hospital with the paramedics. So like, well, what kind of masks have you got? And I said, well, I had like this one that I got from like Boohoo, and it was like £1, and I got another one that was colourful, and they were like, those masks are not going to do, as well as those ones that you pull over your face as well. You need a good either medical size mask or like a KN95 mask, which is the ones that I get now from my family. Right. And I make sure like, look, the cotton ones aren't going to work. They're just not working.
Well, and N95s were very inaccessible a while back there. There was a sort of a shortage across the world concerning actual N95 rated masks. And there's a run on them, basically, you know what I mean? So even hospitals were okay with cloth I made it myself mask at one point because they simply had nothing else, you know? Well, let me ask you this. Are you feeling okay today? Are you okay now? We want to know.
So I have basically long COVID. So I've got something called pleurisy. So it just means that I will, unfortunately, even like now, I'll get out of breath talking for long periods of time. Walking and just general everyday activities can sometimes be quite strenuous and difficult. So it means that I'm sometimes can be in quite a lot of pain in my body. My sleep is also all over the place. My memory has also, my short-term memory hasn't also been that great either. So
yeah, but that's because you smoke a lot of marijuana.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not. As a teacher, I do not smoke marijuana.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
Okay. No, I don't smoke marijuana, guys. I am DBS checked and I do not do that. So no, I have an inhaler, a very strong inhaler.
I am kidding. That was on me, guys. She does not smoke marijuana. I'm just being a jerk.
Yeah, definitely don't. Although I was weirdly, because someone was talking to me about those, the CBD oils that you can get. Because they're actually really good for like pain. So I thought actually that might be something that I could look at getting, but I don't know how.
Well, the legality of it's all up in the air. Here in Canada, it's legal. I mean, it's legal here, right? So
like marijuana and CBD oil, or just
marijuana, right? And so here's the thing: is that we're still playing catch up with the problems with that. You as a professional, having to take any drug testing and things like that, mandatory drug testing or even occasional for certain purposes, the various pills and things will say that it doesn't set those off, but it does. Like the manufacturing's not quite tight on that. And then there's still a lot of problems concerning marijuana and professionalism in our culture, right? And so you in England, for example, I don't believe that marijuana is legal in England yet. Am I right about that?
No.
Yeah, so
the oils are there's like hemp oils and CBD oils that you can have.
But even then that's sketchy, right? Because
they started some trials on looking at because there was a child who had to get, he had like quite severe epilepsy, and I believe their mum went through a whole trial to get sort of these drops, I believe it was, to basically support his epilepsy.
Oh, wow,
because
okay.
without it, he was really, so I think that's only one case that I know where it is legal to get it shipped from. I think it's probably from America as well.
Sure.
Because I know that's where she went to get him checked out. But
Wow,
I
okay.
don't know of an actual.
Well, the
No,
Canadian
I'm
government
not
treats
sure.
it just like liquor and alcohol. Adults only
Yeah.
and accessible only in certain places there. Just to remind everybody on stereo there, this is live on Twitch. If you search my name, Archaeologistic, on Twitch, you'll be able to watch the stream while we're chatting with Jazz here. So there's another level of way for you to interact if you feel so frisky to do so. All right. Currently, we're talking about marijuana right now. You know what? You and I have really run the gambit. Jazz, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to
It's
talk
alright.
to me.
Thank you.
All
It's
right.
been nice. I was literally like, you know what? I'm going to take a break and go on stereo because I'm actually sat writing my essay that needs to be in today. And
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Procrastination.
I'm actually nearly done, to be honest, but I've just been sat thinking I just needed a break and thought, heck, I'm gonna log on to stereo, see if there's anyone to chat to, because I just didn't have anyone to chat to. And then
Well-
I was swiping through and I was getting really weird sounds. I was like, oh, you know what, I'll go off. And then literally you click, someone was like, hello, Jazz Keys. I was like, oh, he sounds delightful. Hello. And then I stayed on, and it's been an hour since, I think. I don't know how long is it? Yeah, it has been an hour. So yeah, it's been a fantastic break, honestly. I'm tempted for you to kind of, I want you really, if possible, if he's still here.
Who, Rabbi?
Where is he?
Is it Rabbi or Rabbi?
I was hoping that he would, if he's still in, then he can, go live with yourself, and I'll just listen to that whilst I'm doing the rest of my
sure.
work.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Be fine. And then you guys could just have like a woodwind off. And I then decide which one I'm then marrying and which one proposes, blah blah blah. You get the story. Yeah.
I'm married. I'm married, so I can't even play the game,
Well,
even if I wanted to.
You can't play the game. Okay, it was worth trying.
But what I can do is back him up. I can play supporting notes that give him some. I can really be a wingman. I can wingman. I can help.
Oh, he's already won. It's fine. Okay, so just message me on Instagram. It's fine.
Nice,
Okay, cool.
nice. Yeah. So this is live on
my
Twitch.
mother's
This is
famous.
live on stereo. This is also I tweet when I go live on on Twitter there, and stereo app itself. The folks from the good folks at stereo have liked the tweet of that we're live talking right now. And so there's stereo itself supporting this little chat in a way. So we really appreciate that,
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that. There's Twitter coming in. There's a pro streaming setup. We got people all over just loving this, and so that's really great. If anyone on stereo isn't shy, feel free to drop a comment or a question in the chat there. If you're watching on Twitch, by all means, ask a question here. Jazz here is a musician. She's a teacher. Teaching music, and she's recently recovered from COVID, which is something I hate to say it, Jazz, without getting personal at all, but a lot of people are very curious about your people's experience with COVID. If you get it, what's it like? How's the recovery? What do do you have any advice? This kind of stuff is on people's minds, and unfortunately, we actually don't know. Most people don't know anyone who's experienced COVID symptoms, right?
No, I think it did start out like that, where I had started out with my godmother, basically guessing and knowing that from last year March, and she then went into hospital, then went into a coma, and then unfortunately she did pass away. But that was my first sort of interaction with, okay, this is some serious shit, like y'all need to get a mask and stay the fuck at home. That was like, right, okay, I'm taking this seriously. Obviously coming from China, and everyone was like, are you okay to, like, is it okay to see you because like you've just come from China?
That's
And I'm
true.
like,
Yes.
Oh my God. So like I was getting judged, but like not in the same way that obviously Asian people who'd obviously, either come from China, were getting treated, because obviously I'm black. It was like, oh yeah, you've not been to China, it's fine. And then I was like, no, actually I have been to China. I was just working there.
Why black people don't go to China?
Yeah, like literally, it was just sort of like, do you see how stupid you are? Just thinking, okay, well, all Asian people must have COVID. I'm like, no, there's black
Wow.
people too.
Wow.
And like, I really had to go. You guys, you sound so fucking stupid. So yeah, that was a real sort of like, well, I'll be damned. We do travel outside the country. I'm like, yeah, we do.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there was just this people are stupid basically, and yeah, I really just had to educate some people. And then once we started getting a little bit more educated, people were like, okay, we'll take this seriously. So obviously, unfortunately, I lost my auntie or godmother, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
I started taking it seriously. But yeah, Rich, it's just been, I mean, for me with COVID, it actually started off with me getting tonsillitis. And I normally get tonsillitis anyway.
Okay.
And you would have thought at the grand age of the 30 that I'm going to be turning in a few weeks' time.
Oh, wow.
By this point, I would have got rid of my tonsils. But no, my mother kept them. And I basically was like, I feel really run down, I feel really sick, and I don't feel great. And the only places that I know I'd been was school and home.
Sure.
And I wasn't going anywhere else because I'd said to my mum, who I was looking after at the time as well, that I didn't want to come around because I'm going back into school, and things at that time were getting worse. But at this point, we didn't know about these new strains that were going around. And by the Wednesday, I was thinking, I just don't feel right. I knew my tonsils were not great, and actually they were just really quite inflamed. And I thought, right, let me call sort of like the NHS and just see if I can get some antibiotics. And they're like, we should think you should also get tested for COVID as well, because this is also coming across as it might be the case that you might have COVID.
Okay.
So I'll go get tested then. But I was thinking it's just a bit waste of time. I won't have COVID. By the Saturday that I got tested, I was like, I really feel awful.
No.
Like, I'm not feeling good. But it wasn't, I'd lost my sense of taste or smell. I was still able to.
Do you mean energy?
taste
Like you just
things, but I just wasn't able to eat a lot of food.
lethargic?
And by the Sunday, by the Sunday, I was like, okay, I'm really struggling to breathe. This isn't good. And then I got my test results on the Sunday saying, you have COVID.
Oh, perfect.
You must stay at home.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was like, oh, shit, okay, I'm gonna have to message school.
Oh,
So
everything.
then I was the first person ever in school to get COVID. So then that was that really, because I spend so much time going into different parts of the school. It was like, were you wearing a mask? And I'm like, yeah, I was wearing a mask. Was the mask this type of mask? I'm like, well, no, it wasn't, because you told us not to wear a mask. So obviously different parts of the school then obviously had to get, cut off and sent home and told to isolate.
Oh, hey, listen, let me stop you right there, Jess. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You, by phoning your school and saying, hey, listen, I have COVID, okay, so you just employed like 25 bureaucrats. They all just go, they just thrive on paperwork, and now there's phone calls and meetings and emails and chat windows, and there's so much to do because you made that simple statement. They literally, that justifies their almost meaningless jobs, is to just we got action, we're doing it, we're having a meeting, we're gonna have 4 meetings.
Like, teacher has COVID.
Teacher has COVID.
Teacher has COVID.
36 meetings. Everybody go to a meeting. And then come to my meeting.
Literally was sort of like a monster thing. We've got a 2319. We've got a 2319. You could see the sheer panic in the emails, and like the calls I was getting, and this was on a Monday. I'm bearing in mind at this point I really couldn't breathe, and I was like, okay, I think I might actually have to call the hospital because I'm really struggling at this point. So they're trying to call me, and I'm like, hello, and I'm really trying to sound a lot better than I do, but I just sounded like Barry White's illegitimate daughter, and there was just nothing that I could do. And that was that really, and it just spiraled from there. So by the Monday I was in hospital, I came out on the Wednesday, was back in on the Friday, and because I've got asthma anyway and quite a few medical issues, it just was causing everything.
Didn't help, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, by the time I got it, and that was November that I got COVID. I didn't actually go back into school until the last week of term in December, but even then that was part-time because I couldn't actually walk, talk, or really deliver a lesson without sitting down. And yeah, that was probably around the 11th, I think it was, of December. So yeah, good 6 weeks where I just was not able to really speak, eat, talk, walk, or really do much for myself.
Wow,
We
Jazz.
go out,
Seriously.
shop, so I had people delivering stuff. So yeah, it wasn't great. It was not the best experience. Not the nicest experience I could have, and I honestly wouldn't wish it on anybody else.
Honestly, I want to thank you for sharing that with us. It is a personal story, and you're under no obligation to tell people that, of course, you know what I mean? But on another level, I think you really helped me and other people, because it's these kind of firsthand stories that help us sort of see what's coming, and we can understand and appreciate a little better. You say that, you know, struggle breathing and then a little bit of asthma and things like this. It can really, we all know somebody. You're never too far away from somebody who has asthma. It's one of those things that we all know somebody. If you just go a little farther down your social chain, you run into somebody who, without COVID, has a little trouble breathing on occasion. And then we can just be a little more sensitive and supportive to people and understanding the rules and why we should respect them, right? I mean, come on, keep it simple, guys. That's, you know, if it truly isn't, we're all in this together. It's stories like that that can actually prove that and bring it to like the forefront of what we need to be doing, right? So I will never do anything that would put somebody in a situation that they're having trouble breathing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person, right? So yeah, Canada has its share of people who are deniers. It has it's a minority, of course. It's a small group of people, but there are people who don't really respect it, don't really understand how serious it can get, and I don't know. I'm hoping they're listening. I hope they're hearing how, you know, what happens, right, and how it feels and the impact of it. You know, yeah.
I honestly would say for anybody who doesn't believe genuinely, I mean, my words aren't necessarily going to really make you change your mind. But the more and more you're hearing how people have reacted to it and whether they've reacted terribly to it to the point that unfortunately they've passed away, or to the point where, you know, they got it but they were fine, just had a couple of symptoms, it literally does act on a range of things. You know, you can be completely healthy and unfortunately pass away from it, and you could be, like myself, quite medically ill, and still, you know, have issues with it, but actually come out not too bad, or be, you know, worse than I am off and actually not have any issues at all. And I think that's the scope of where people are denying it and going, well, that can't exist, because you'd assume that if they were medically more, you know, not able to deal with it, and, you know, had a bunch of issues going for them, then, you know, more than likely they should die. And if you're healthy, you should be completely fine. It doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately, and it certainly hasn't done with this virus. And we've seen it not just with the elderly generation, but even with the younger generation and kids, because kids can get it as well. We've had a couple of kids as well, and, you know, I think a lot of people just think, oh, it just affects people over the ages of year 7 upwards. That's not the case either.
No, it's not.
You know, there are kids that have unfortunately got ill and have unfortunately passed away from it as well. So it really is, you know, if you can stay at home, literally stay your ass at home. If you need to go out, then fine, go out, get your things, but then come back home. If you are going to meet with people, keep your distance. Don't be, you know, trying to snog them and jump all over them, because that ain't going to help your situation or them and whoever else they then interact with. You don't know you've got it. And similar to myself, I didn't know I had it. I just thought it was tonsillitis. People who just think, oh, I've just got the sniffles. Seriously, if you don't know and have got no indication of knowing, especially if you've not got any tests at home, please stay at home until you've either got yourself tested.
Yeah, get a test.
There's people around to support you.
It's easy to get a test, guys. It's not even a very big, scary experience. I mean, make a phone call, book it, go down there, easy test. The tests are everywhere. It's so easy to do, for sure. Yeah. I'm a smoker and have been for many, many, many years, and so I know that. Really, I mean, when we talk about having, if you get something that causes you breathing issues, it's not going to be great for smokers. You know what I mean? So I would also say, if you're a smoker, you should take this more seriously. And if you don't, think twice, buddy, because you know, if you've been smoking for 26 years or whatever, and then you get a breathing related illness, you're not going to do very well, man. So do your best to get rid of the smokes, do your best. And I'm a hypocrite saying that because I actually enjoy smoking. I don't endorse it, but
Yeah.
I very much would quit myself, but at the same time, yeah, there's certain people out there who are more vulnerable to this. People with asthma.
Yeah.
I would say all smokers will suffer more than people who are not smokers. Okay, so there's a big blanket generalization, and I'm no doctor, but I do play one on TV. So. No, I don't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, really? Oh my god, really? Yeah.
I'm the sax playing doctor on
yeah.
TV.
Well, you are literally selling yourself to me. I mean, I'm not sure if you're like down for polyamory. I'm not polyamorous myself, but at this point, I was there like considering it. There's a doctor saxophone sounds brilliant.
You'd have to talk to my wife about that.
That sounds awesome.
Polyamorous relationships, often it's really, you need to talk to your wife.
Yeah,
that's not a call you should make on your own,
talk
buddy.
to your wife or your partner, that's fine.
Yeah.
And
Or your
then
partner.
come back to me. No, I'm fine. I don't think I could do polyamory. I've got a serious jealous streak, and that's okay. I noticed my other flaw. That's fine. I have a jealous streak, and so I couldn't do polyamory. I wish, but no.
I put all my energy into my immediate family that I have, my wifey, my kids. I can't imagine dividing that attention and time and money and energy into more people than that. It's a lot of work, just that. I struggle with that. So we've had 65 listeners.
Amazing.
We've had 65 listeners pop in here. Evan Finch here has something to say. Let's see what Evan has to say here.
Hello. Hey guys, just listening in.
Right on.
I got COVID in January. I work in a homeless shelter for people who are brand new to homelessness. So we intervene before they go on to end up on the streets.
Wow,
so they come
okay.
live with us. Our whole
You're a hero,
staff
buddy.
ended up getting COVID over like a 7-day period.
The whole staff.
The whole staff went down with it. I was off work quite sick for 4 weeks. No underlying health conditions apart from being obese. And yeah, it took me a while to recover. I've still got really bad. I'm just tired constantly, really tired. And then we had other staff who got really, really sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Evan, thanks for sharing us, man. He's got one more here for us.
But with that, I've had complex PTSD for many years now. I was always really struggled socially, and more so now. I'm just struggling to leave the house other than work, and it's getting me down again. Also having other stresses with I recently came out non-binary, and kind of the fallout from that has been really crap, and yeah, just not having a great time.
Oh, Evan. Listen, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. All right. I'm sorry to hear that it's been a rough go for you. All right. And I really do mean that genuinely. Something like stereo sounds cheap. It's just chatting with random strangers. But you've hit on a couple genuine people here. And I think I can speak for Jazz as well, that your story is a rough go, buddy. And we would help you out if we could. All right. So you're welcome to follow us here on Stereo. If you do need someone to talk to, by all means, you can reach out to us. I know I'm a total stranger, man, but I'm there for total strangers. It's okay. You know what I mean? That's the attitude we should have, to be here for each other, for everybody, right? So
Yeah, Vinci, if you need anything, please just message me on Instagram. To be honest, we're probably going through something very similar, because I know I'm struggling to go out the flat at the moment, and I also suffer with PTSD. So I completely empathize with you having to socially start to interact again, that anxiety of having to do that. I'm not non-binary, but I did try and come out to my nan as bi, and that did not go out well as well. So that's a whole new relationship that I'm going to have to try and rebuild again. So I really can empathise. But if you do need anyone to genuinely speak to and just sort of work ideas out or thoughts in your head, then I'm there to speak to if you do need it.
Right on. Right on. Well, listen, Jazz, and everybody listening here, guys, I do have to end the show. All right, I do have to go. It's been a pleasure to speak with you, Jazz.
Lovely to meet
All right,
you.
lovely
I'd
to meet you.
again.
Maybe we can do this again sometime. I hope we can. All right.
Yes, that'd be lovely.
If you search me on Twitch there, you'll be able to watch this show. Also, this will be on Spotify later on today, guys. So if you'd missed something, if you wanted to sort of hear yourself, it doesn't matter. You'll be on a Spotify podcast. Just search Archaeologistic Talks to Everyone is the name of the podcast. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to share some of those personal stories with us, to have a laugh about the music industry and being a musician, which is a ridiculous experience, start to finish. So
It is, definitely.
wish
You
y'all
never not be a happy musician. There's always something going on
oh my god,
in the world. And you've learnt about the iwi today, so
yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
shiwi.
it is not a shiwi.
No.
And just another reminder, guys, do not play your shiwis. That should have been the name of the show, to be honest. Do not play your shiwis. Yeah,
Thanks for
that's it,
hanging
guys.
out, guys. All right,
Thank you.
72 people on stereo checking us out. All right, you guys are awesome. Have a good day. All right, and Jazz, we'll
You
talk
as well.
soon, okay?
Yes, we will do. Take care, guys.
Ciao. And there you have it. Right side, thank you so much for hanging out with me, man. Holding up the Twitch torch there. We had a lot of people coming and going from on the Twitch platform. Oh, here we go. It's a fun show, eh, man? Isn't this kind of cool in a way? I feel like I couldn't do this alone though, because when I was testing this app, I was alone with my phone, just talking, right? But I need you. I need people with me to do this, right? You guys have insight and questions and laugh with me and cry with me, and yeah, it's just the stereo app is amazing. I feel like I'm enhancing it by sharing it with people on Twitch and sharing the experience, basically. All right, so good times. All right, we met some amazing people today. All right, and so this podcast will be available in podcast format on Spotify in about an hour or so. It takes a little while for things to upload and things. I got to do a quick edit to make sure it works. This particular file, we had a little internet problem there, so I actually had to restart the stream, and that's going to make two files that have to join together. It's more work. I'm not crying. It's okay. It's super easy to handle. All right. So, but basically, this is going to be available on Spotify if you want to follow that. All right. Give it a quick follow and you won't miss a thing. Great chats today. I really hope we get to talk to our first guest a little more too. That was a great chat, and I hope he didn't think that I disconnected him. We just had connection issues, and it was over. So I'm going to be looking for him again. It was super good chat, all about positivity and all about the reality of what you think is possible. You know what I mean? So that was fun. Yeah, right side. I think it's all smoothed out now, man. But clearly, I had some issues. I had some transmission mission was issues. So yeah, good times, guys, on the stereo app. Great times on Twitch. Okay, guys. Thanks very much for hanging out with me. And I might come back later and do another one of these. I am going to play a little bit of Apex Legends later on today, so I might stream some of that instead, because I really do need to get into the ranked grind. All right, so I have a passion for that game. Let's hang out soon. All right. Ciao for now.